So the hype from E3 was very surprising to us. We knew we had a really good game and a really unique concept. When we first announced it, we got a lot of doubt about whether or not, we'd be able to get it in. Once people started playing it at E3, I think they realized that, we weren't lying, we were telling the truth. We really do have all these things, and they really do act the way you expect. So all that hype and all that popularity really didn't come from us so much. It came from everybody who played it and then went online and told their friends about it. And then a lot of that popularity really was a grassroots movement. And we were very surprised, very happy by it, but very surprised by it too. So I don't know so much that people's tastes are changing. If you want to do violent stuff, a lot of times that violent stuff is based around, it's funny to do it. And I think Scribblenauts has a huge potential for humor. Just look at how many times people write God and give him a shotgun and then put him against Cthulhu. There's definitely some violence going on there, and it's cartoonish. And I think a lot of the humor comes from, you'll never ever find, well, possibly never, because after I say that someone will do it, a game that allows you to do that. And Scribblenauts lets you. So because there's so many things you could do in those sort of humorous situations here, I think we attract more people who wouldn't be able to do that in other games. So we have a tool called ObjectNot, which is very database oriented. And what we did was, when we were collecting objects, we put them into categories that make sense for gameplay. So we have category for mammals, we have category for birds, we have category for tools, and then we could set up, all animals are flesh, all animals eat things, all animals do certain things. And then they inherit it. So for example, like all birds can fly. And then under that we could do subcategories for, birds that eat rodents versus birds that eat seeds. And then even under there we can specify object per object. So even though all birds can fly, penguins and ostriches don't, so we can make sure that they don't fly. So we had a lot of help with just organizing things by their category and setting up properties for a category. And that got a lot of that grunt work done, but then we went in and specialized things, and it just, it was manageable. It seems like an unmanageable and impossible project, but until you sit down and actually try to do it, then you realize that it's manageable and you can do it. And our tool was great in terms of all the different things that we could do to any object. I definitely think there's an increase in the number of games with user-generated content, with giving the player more opportunity to affect the game that they're in. There's so many games that let the player be creative within the game. More level editors in games, more ability to just experiment within a game. And I think Scribblenauts is definitely a follower of those types of games and also an innovator on those kinds of games, because it gives the players so much opportunity to do what they want within the game. They're not fighting the game over the mechanics and what they're doing. They're just being given it and saying play. So there's definitely a lot more games that are coming out that give the player that opportunity. Oh, I have some favorite objects, but they're secret. One of my favorite objects really is the Hydra. I like using the Hydra, I like dressing up the Hydra, obviously, and then I like to tame the Hydra, which people will eventually figure out how to make the Hydra friendly, so I'll let them figure that later. Tame it, then ride it, and have it eat other creatures and attack other creatures, because there's just so many things you can do with one object, and because the Hydra just looks so cool. Who wouldn't want to ride a three-headed monster?